are back and we have another interview for you inside the miserable corner. This week, I know I see me rocking my little TTFA jacket and stuff. Because this week, we have a defender in our presence, and all those who know me love a defender. Trinidad and Tobago, everybody, the region, everybody, I just want to welcome Radanfah Abu Bakr to the corner with your girl. Hi, Radanfah.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, you are. Don't be nervous here.
No, just excited.
You're just excited?
Yeah.
Radanfah, let's start things off pretty simple. Where are you? You're home, right?
Finally, yes, after being stuck in India for probably extra 5-6 months, because of course the lockdown, the COVID lockdown and all the travel restrictions, we were stuck there, and then obviously have to go through the whole exemption process, and there are a lot of flight restrictions between India and Trinidad, so we had to make 3-4 connections. It was a little complicated, but thanks to God that we're home. Me and a few others who were in India as well, we all made it back together about a month and a half ago. So we're happy to be back.
So, you're back home as you said, and we all know, for those who don't know, this is the national team's defender, Radanfah Abu Bakr, a man who basically saves us a lot in the back line, and he does save his teammates as well. You cover everybody in the back line. I'm just saying, from observation, is a man known to cover the ground in the back.
I'm flattered, but I can't do it without my teammates, obviously.
Oh, okay. He's being modest. So let's start from humble beginnings, because let's talk about Radanfah, the man. Because of course, you come from a well-known family, and you've been what some people an inspiration on the team for a lot of the young ones. You're also an inspiration for every young person that has ever been able to be in contact with you one-on-one. So take us back from your first moment with a football to the moment you got onto the national team. How was that process for that?
Well, that would have started off as soon as I could probably walk, my sort of inspiration would have been to sort of run behind my brothers. I have two older brothers who used to play, of course, as well. So I would do everything to emulate them. That kind of passion grew into a bit of an obsession to sort of be like them and play amongst them and amongst the bigger guys. And yeah, that sort of progressed to Savannah League football with the legendary Coach Dada, who is obviously still runs Trinidad Hawks. The cradle of so many amazing national team players, Denzel Fiaball came out of that, Atula Guerra, Kerwin Hardish Gemot, countless others, and he provides such an amazing facility to especially the youth of East Port of Spain, and he's been a stalwart in football. So I was part of that setup going up in under 10s, under 12s, under 14. By that time, I would have entered QRC, so I would have played, youth football through there, all the way up to secondary schools football. Had a bit of that, and from there, getting on to 18, 19, I was involved in the national youth team. So that would have been under 20, would have been my first experience in red, white, and black. And sort of progressed from there as well to the under 23s. I had some time in university as well in between that in London. So I have a bachelor's in business management. So that took 3 years, kind of out of football. But, I think in retrospect, of course, that was a clever decision. Probably, in the end. And I was able to return to football after that. And that would include, of course, getting onto the senior team. I believe my debut was in 2008. So I was around about 21 there, I believe. Yeah, I remember that game as well. It was against Haiti in the Center of Excellence. I came on for one Chris Burchell. So, That was my first taste of senior national team football at age 21.
Were you intimidated? Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Intimidated is a strong word. I think it's just sort of eagerness to get involved, and obviously you don't want to mess up. But it's about sort of transferring that energy into something positive, and it's just more excitement than anything else. Nervousness, I don't think so. It's more excitement, yeah.
We will come back obviously to football and the national team, but let's talk more about you and your other likes, your other passions, the things that you find yourself, how do you put it, intrigued and caught up in, but you just have to do it.
Well, back in QRC, I played cricket as well. So it was sort of half-season football and half-season cricket. I was okay. I was pretty decent. Yeah, not bad at all.
So an all-rounder, a batsman,
I did everything. I even was a wicket keeper. So
for the wicket keeper, boy.
But I had to make a decision because half the year was cricket, half the year was football, and that meant studies would have had to take a back seat, and that wasn't an option. So I had to choose one, and there's only one choice there. So football it was. Into yoga. I do a bit of yoga. I discovered a little passion for swimming as well after an injury. I had a broken metatarsal, I had a broken foot, and through the sort of rehabilitation process, I got involved in the pool stuff, and then I started to swim, and it's something I really enjoy now. It's hard though. But it's something I enjoy. I like the outdoors. Anything with a ball, I'll play. If you drop any ball behind me, I could guess which ball it is,
Really? So you're willing to play tennis, golf, anything in that sense?
I've had a go at just about everything, except snowboarding, just yet. But I'll get there.
Snowboard, it's a bit scary though.
I have done ice skating, and it was fun. It was painful when you hit the floor. But after a few times you get used to it, and yeah, that's exhilarating as well.
No, I have to see that. You need to share the footage of that.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", so it looks a little bit clumsy, but once I get the hang of it, I think I'm quite graceful.
Excuse me. I really need to see that for graceful. Anyways, so let's talk about family. I mean, of course, being an athlete and I love the balance that you have when it comes to academics and athletics. So let's talk about how the family structure in your life, meaning your support system and everything, played a huge part in that, because a lot of athletes nowadays, it's about support.
Yeah.
And especially with mental health and everything. And in this COVID time, it's an essential part.
I come from a big family. It's 7 of us. I'm smack in the middle. So the oldest is my sister, 2 older brothers, and there's me, and there's 3 younger sisters. So I'm in the middle child, the diplomatic one.
The middle child is give trouble, eh?
No.
I'm a middle child. I'm a middle child too. So I'm miserable.
Well, you're a bit of an anomaly, clearly. Middle children are the best behaved children.
We are.
The diplomats in the family, everything. So,
we are.
Yeah, so I attempt to play that role as well. But I don't know who might want to agree, but I have 3 of the best parents in the world. They've been incredibly supportive. Everything, not just me, of course, everything we attempt to do. They made so many sacrifices for us, and put us in a position that we could pursue our dreams, and they've done an amazing job. And not just them, of course, other family members. If you go to any game that I'm playing, it's almost like there's a reserve section for them. They're quite noticeable. They're there all the time. It doesn't matter which game it is. I feel that support, not just even when I'm here. So my brothers would tune into my games when I'm playing away, if they could get a stream to look at it, and it's really good to know that you have your family. And, I've been married for a couple of years, and my wife she's sort of usurped them for my number 1 fan. At least she thinks so. But
it's only right.
That's still my mom, but that's all a secret. So she's still the number 1 fan. My dad is his coach, mentor, motivator, inspiration, everything all in one. And they are a huge part of, me being able to, pursue my dream and enjoy the career that I have had so far.
And you was talking about your studies just now, the plans for after football, obviously. Are you looking into, because for me, every time I talk to you, you really have a kind of no take on that. It's me again. You know, a kind of coaching way about you, like kind of guiding. It just comes off as like the guardian angel, guidance kind of vibe. That's a bad way. So I'm curious. I'm wondering if you are setting things in place to further share your knowledge and experience within this sport. Probably even cricket, seeing you was so decent as well. You probably could do a little
wasn't bad. Yeah. In terms of coaching, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I wanted to get involved in some courses. This whole COVID thing has kind of come to everybody's style, so that's sort of on pause for now. The last coach I played under, a Portuguese guy, he actually told me that, are you considering to be a coach? You have that sort of aura about you now. And I was like, am I? Is it because I'm older? Or, but that's sort of how that's sort of how I play and I train with particularly younger guys who have less experience. You wouldn't just yell at them just to have a go at them. You try to guide them through the processes that you've gone through before as well. And obviously, if they get better, the team gets better, you get better. So that's how I see it. So they actually used to call me on the national team the Godfather, because I guess I'm the kind of put your arm around the guy and kind of help him through a difficult situation. I don't know, that's just a bit of my personality, how I was sort of brought up, I suppose.
I don't hear you in any commotion, in any comments, in any cantankerous behavior or indisciplined behavior. Is that something that you've always said to yourself that you wanted to? Because for me, you're an example of what the perfect idol, or the word I'm looking for, Henry would probably know this word off his back. But to me, you're the best person, for me, if I'm thinking about young people to look up and idolize, especially locally, you're one of the best ambassadors for that. Is that just natural, or is it just something you mentally put in and work hard to maintain?
I'm not sure. I'm flattered by that, but I don't know. It just comes out. It's what I see in my dad as well, as someone who's always there to help other people. And I think I've sort of just, I don't know, they all evolved into that mode of thinking where, I'm always trying to help the other guy next to me and, help somebody along or be a good example generally. I mean, for me, what's the point in being a troublemaker, and there's no progress in that, So it's just about doing the best for myself, and that means as well helping somebody else along at the same time. So really, it's nothing that special, I don't think.
It is. It's rare. So let's talk about, because we have to. Let's talk about national team players you've been playing among, the coaches you've been under. I think I want to know your highs and your lows to start with. What would be the highest moment in your career so far? Because I know in 2009, I think you went to England, right?
Yeah.
You had an experience. If it was a short while, it was Swansea?
Yes.
I remember things at this old age, Radanfah.
Congratulations. I mean, you do know better than I am.
How was that experience for you?
That was just after my university 3 years in London. It's very complicated to get a work permit to get to the UK. That's why we don't have anybody there at the moment. But my studies provided me with 2 years after I studied to have a work permit. And I went on trial while I was in school to Swansea. And the manager there was Roberto Martinez, who Dennis Lawrence was done that with. And they were impressed at the time, but still in school. And then by the time my school was finished, he already left. But the chairman was still there, and he invited me to come. And I'm sort of like a prolonged kind of trial, so it was a short-term contract because they remember me. And I went there, and it was a really eye-opening experience. Top facilities, top players, the professionalism, and the whole setup there is amazing. It's just perfectly geared for you just to perform. Everything is there in order for you to be at your optimum. And it was a huge eye-opening experience. experience. I was just a kid then, very inexperienced, but I learned quite a lot about how the real game is played, and that served me well in my career. After that, I returned home, and then that's the injury that I referred to earlier. I got injured then, and I was out for almost a year. So that could definitely be one of my lows, for any athlete being injured and having to sit out and look at everybody else play while you're at the side. Everybody wants to be out there to help their team. And yeah, that's agonizing for anybody. I was out for such a long time. Again, without the support of my family through that time, it would have been very difficult, I imagine. So that was definitely a low point. But in terms of the highs, just probably the highest point for me is every time I put on the Trinidad and Tobago uniform and you're walking out that tunnel or you're stepping onto the pitch. It beats anything in the club game for sure. Your family's there, your countrymen are there, the entire country's behind you each and every time. So how many caps I have, each time I stepped out there, that was like a high point for me. It's difficult to pin down a particular moment or game. If I were to, it might have been my competitive debut. When I came on for Brazil against Haiti, that first time was friendly, but my competitive debut was a World Cup qualifier away to Mexico in the Azteca of all venues. It's 80,000+. I'm a 21-year-old kid. No.
They don't play.
Definitely not there, and it's obviously against the top players. It's a World Cup qualifier, so there's everything to play for. And yeah, that was my baptism of fire. Coach Russell Antipy gave me my chance in that game. And I did all right. We actually did all right. We ended up losing 2-1. Tinto scored in that game. That was an amazing goal. One of the best goals Trinidad football has seen over the years. We lost 2-1, but yeah, that was a real surreal moment for me, stepping out into that kind of atmosphere and experiencing that kind of game.
But seeing as you're known as the Godfather to everybody else, who would you say has been your inspiration locally within the game, and why? What about them? That's
again, apart from my dad and my family.
Literally in the game. Yeah, like football.
Yeah, no. But I heard he was a decent goalkeeper actually. All the older heads tell me he was alright. I don't know if he could fly still, but I don't know if he could still fly. But I heard he was pretty good. I grew up with Caledonia, so a lot of the local players there would have been inspiration for me. Denzel Fieldball, of course, a guy with 99 caps who actually went to the World Cup. His professionalism, his work ethic and everything. There were guys like Charles Pollard, who was around at that time. He was a defender, so he inspired me as well. Conrad Smith, who is in the States at the moment. Those types of players who were in and around Caledonia while I was sort of building my career and my game before I really launched into my international career. They were inspiration locally.
And internationally, growing up, who you looked at?
Coming up during school, I fancied myself as a midfielder. So that time there was Zidane around. That was my favorite player. So I really fancied him. But as I sort of, fell back in my lane, got into being a central defender. I like Lucio from Brazil. He was a unorthodox, but very efficient and effective, and quite a leader as well. He really looked like he inspired and drove the team forward. And that's the kind of player I would model myself after. Modern players would probably be guys like Thiago Silva. I think Van Dijk has a lot to learn still.
Alright, you lost me when you went to Van Dijk. You lose.
Alright. I don't think
you went from great Brazil players to boom, Van Dijk, the Dutch. We don't do them thing that far.
And I don't think many people could deny that to be the best player in the world. We can't get into the argument about Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah, of course.
But in my opinion, for sure, Messi.
So do you have like a favorite club though? Or international team other than obviously Trinidad and Tobago? It will obviously come second.
obviously. Bayern Munich, I'm sort of a German fan. I like the German game. I'm a Bayern fan, yes. And yeah, we could see at the moment they're head and shoulders above everyone at the moment. They're incredible. It's scary to watch them play. They're so good, so efficient. Everything is precise. It's quite a machine they built there.
I can see it playing in that structure, you know.
Really? Well, they don't do. Well, the defenders don't do that much because they ball most of the time. So
exactly. But what I'm saying is because for me, all around the German structure itself and how they play, I could see that in you when you play sometimes. I could see that. So let's get a little saucer now. Do you cook, Radanfah?
Absolutely, you'll be surprised. I've played outside of Trinidad for almost a decade. A lot of those journeys have been on my own for the majority of the time, so in a way I don't have a choice. I don't like to eat out generally, so I've sort of learned the basics and always branch off and experiment here or there. I've done a bit of baking. My banana bread is exceptional, so I think I'm getting better. My wife has helped me along as well. She's an incredible cook, so we have Zoom cook sessions, and when she comes to visit, of course, she takes over. But all my food and her food doesn't taste the same. Feels sometimes better. Even though she walks me through everything, it just doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't.
You get the measurements wrong. You can get the measurements wrong sometimes.
I don't know what happens, but whatever she puts in it, let's not get into that. Anyway, so I think I'm competent in the kitchen. Yeah.
Competent. Okay, so this is just a random out because it's Radanfah. But do you have a favorite drink on your rock?
No alcohol, obviously. No alcohol. No, zero. No. I do smoothies and stuff. I create my own, so experiment a little bit. Yeah, fresh fruit.
Fresh fruit.
Not box fruits.
Okay, pops. So Radanfah making juices too.
Yeah.
Alright, but the miserable deep patch you can taste in your juices. Yeah, we want your fresh juice. You come and buy us some fresh juice from
that. Might cost you a pretty penny though, but alright. The first one is complimentary.
We appreciate that. Okay. Because right now the world is dealing with COVID, the pandemic. We are seeing people from different backgrounds everywhere dealing with a lot of stress because of it. And one of the things that is really a huge conversation now, of course, would be Trinidad and Tobago football. And the players at home who right now are not playing, they don't know what's happening next. Someone who has been in the setup, and of course they look up to. What would you say to them at this moment, in this time of uncertainty? Because we're still waiting on a certain update from the world government body as well. We're not going to get too much into that because I'm not busy, But at this time, what do you say to a player? What do you say to a young player whose hopes hangs in the balance?
I wouldn't, first of all, I wouldn't put such a gloomy terminology on it. I would look for the positive in the situation. It gives you an opportunity to work on your game personally. So for me, that would include just little deficiencies in the game. I have some biomechanics I need to sort out. Any injuries that you might have and you've been playing with for a while, you have some time to treat it. Got time to strengthen up. I know gyms have been closed, but we all have a phone, we all have YouTube. We quite literally have the whole of information at our fingertips. So there's no excuses. You have the chance to get online and get workouts in. You don't need a gym. Body weight exercises are more than sufficient. A couple of resistance bands, maybe a dumbbell, a pull-up bar, and that's really more than enough. So yeah, it gives you a chance to work on your game personally. It's different, of course, for contact sport or team sport. You do need others to improve holistically, but you gotta stay ready. You gotta stay ready. So you don't have to get ready when the time comes and football resumes, training resumes. So that would be my advice. Stay active. look at the positives, see what you can work on individually and personally. So when the time comes where everybody's involved, you're ahead of everybody else.
What would you like to see improved with the local game? I mean, you've played here with Joe Public, Kali, everybody. And then you've also played outside in India and all these different places as well. What would you like to be introduced that is different within the structure?
Let's start off the field first. Better administration, better marketing. Of course, that's going to take money, but it's a sort of chicken and egg scenario. You got to spend to market, but when you market, you get money as well. From gift seeds and all the rest of it. So that's a bit tricky, but you certainly need to improve on that aspect. And that will have a knock-on effect on the field as well, because when you play in front of no one, it's a totally different vibe, it's a totally different energy. You're not accountable to anybody. There's one thing you learn on when you go outside. There's a crowd. If you play 2 bad games, they're on you. And if they're on you, the coaches, that transfers to the coaches, to the management, to the owners of the team. And, then your position becomes precarious. So you have to maintain your standard. Here, you're not really accountable to anybody. It doesn't matter if you sort of win or lose. And that does not go well for a good standard. So on the pitch, we got to be more professional about those types of things. Generally, I think the game got to play at a faster pace here, because you definitely get that outside. The game is played much faster. And I mean, again, that comes out of the atmosphere in the games and what's created in your training sessions and stuff as well. But certainly off the field, better administration on the field, you got to play at a faster pace.
That's a faster pace.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're capable of that. Yeah?
Absolutely. We have endless, loads and loads of talent, that's for sure. But we have to have the proper structures in order to make them obviously perform to the best that they can.
Wow. Who is the most annoying player you ever play with on the national team? I want to know.
Like a personality annoying or annoying to play?
Like somebody who just come in and just everybody.
Wow. Wow, that might be... They're miserable, sort of like you claim to be, but just a different level. That would have to be guys like Willis Plaza or maybe Denise Cyrus. They're sort of pranksters, always having a laugh, always playing, some sort of prank on somebody, and they know how to get under your skin. And they're not concerned at all. It's just like, kind of rile you up, and then they go back to their business like normal. But it's important to have those characters around the team as well.
I spoke to a couple of people before the interview, and I told them, I'm going to speak to Radanfah, and everybody's like, who? Radanfah doing an interview with people like, you just be so to yourself, secluded. And
I'm generally a sort of private kind of quiet guy. I mean, I've been told I'm unapproachable, which is, I don't take that, I don't agree with that at all. I don't know, maybe it's my height, I don't know, maybe it's a good face, I don't know. But I would consider myself one of the most approachable people around.
2 things. One, I was told to tell you by a couple of them that you should teach your fellow defensive structure your tackling moves, because clearly a lot of people are impressed with the way you tackle. It's usually less hazardous for us compared to some other people. Do not kill the messenger. I'm just saying. And 2, you're looking forward to still suiting up again soon, hopefully for World Cup qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers.
I'll have a word with my teammates first of all, and about suiting up, well, we have a new coach, Terry Fennick. I don't know what exactly his plans and intentions are, short to medium term, what kind of players he's looking for, if he's going all the young players, if he's sort of trying to mix it in. We don't know at the moment. Everything is on pause. There's no football. There's no one to really choose from. So it's a difficult situation for him and of course everybody else to be in. But I'm still here. I'm still active. I'm playing. I'm still enjoying my football. I still feel I have quite a few years left in me still. You know, once I stay away from the injuries or anything, I'm still eager to play. I'm still excited every time I get out there. So if it's selection based on performance, which it should be, then I'm there. I'll be there.
People need to understand, right? Radanfah will walk in to your club, and within a month, probably less, he might end up the captain of the team. That's how Radanfah does business. He comes out of nowhere and then takes the captaincy. And Radanfah, that's how you do?
Well, that has happened in the last couple of clubs I've been at. I don't know. It's not a quest. It's not my intention. I don't know. It's definitely not my decision, but it sort of just kind of evolves into that. I don't know. It's just probably the way I interact with the other players, and I'm usually a liaison between the players and coach, and just whoever's in charge sees it fit.
It's admirable. I promise we're going to do another interview with you, because there are more other stuff that I wanted to get into, but I think this one should just be a little laid back for you for now as the first. With the others, we will see what happens and how things progress. And of course, I wanted, because it's admirable how you are, your leadership skills, the way you communicate with management and players. Just everything about you. A lot of people, one of the first things I heard from a fellow sports journalist, it was like, finally, you're talking to one who can have a conversation. And I was like, no. I mean, it's people don't understand how all these simple things, I'm not putting up to, but I'm just saying, it's like, I hope no matter what, you would continue to be a part of the structure of football locally going forward. Because you would be needed.
I hope so as well. I mean, I've accrued a lot of experience internationally, seen how different systems and setups work, you know. I think I could bring that to the local game, not just on the field, but particularly off the field, where I think we definitely need some innovation, some fresh ideas.
So you're gonna cook now? Just saying it.
No, not tonight. The boss lady in charge tonight.
So you're gonna eat tonight and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna see us right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Dan, first, it has been, I should say, this will probably be one of the highlights of my interviewing an athlete, because I've always wanted to have a one-on-one with you like this. And I always wanted to share that one-on-one with everybody, so everybody could get a better feel of who Radanfah Abu Bakr is. And I think this would help a lot. And I appreciate
the service, by the way.
Pardon me?
We barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, because there's a lot more we could talk about, but time. We don't want to kill them with everything one time. You gotta get them a taste. Let's beg for more. Radanfah, who you listen to? What kind of music you love?
I like Freetown Collective. Not just their carnival stuff, but they have other stuff as well. That's probably my favorite group at the moment. It depends on the mood, you know. If you want to do a workout, probably put soca on. If you want to relax, probably put slower music on, you know. So it depends on the mood, but Freetown Collective would be probably
Freetown Collective. That's a good choice. Radanfah, thank you so much for giving me about 40 minutes of your time, 50 minutes. I took a big chunk.
Yeah, that's fine. Anytime.
I totally appreciated it, and continue to be a true representation of what a sportsman is. Continue to be a true inspiration. That's what a man should be, especially for the younger ones, someone they could properly look up to. We appreciate that about you. And continue to save us in the back. Yeah, I ain't even gonna continue to cover your friends and keep us safe in the back, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you. God willing, I have a few more years to play, and I might be around the game a little bit more.
Nice. Yeah?
I really enjoyed my time in the corner with the miserable journalist team. Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
We will definitely do that again soon, probably for the TV show.